Okay, closer to home now, the Alberta government once again turning to the notwithstanding clause, this time to shield 3 transgender bills from court challenges. According to the Premier, Danielle Smith, the move is, quote, urgently needed to protect the safety of children. CBC's Sarah Galash is here with more of these, and second time in 3 weeks that the province of Alberta has turned to the notwithstanding clause to try to shield a piece of legislation.
Yeah, so in this case, we're talking about the 3 laws, as you mentioned, and this goes back to last year. And the first law that we're talking about is the one that prevents the use of puberty blockers or hormone treatment for the purpose of gender reassignment before the age of 16. Another of the laws makes it mandatory for school staff to let parents know if any student wants to be addressed by either a different name or pronouns that are different from gender, a different gender identity. And in the case of students that are under the age of 16, they actually have to seek the parents' permission. And then you have the Sports Act, and this act essentially makes it mandatory for anyone participating in a female-only competitive sport in Alberta to have been assigned female at birth. That last one has yet to be challenged in court. The other 2 already are being challenged in court. And so that brings you to today and the introduction, the tabling, in fact, of Bill 9. Bill 9 applies the notwithstanding clause to protect these 3 existing laws in Alberta from arguments that they violate Canada's Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Once passed, that would make it the case for the next 5 years. And it would also suspend the application of the Alberta Bill of Rights and the Alberta Human Rights. And Danielle Smith, the Premier, was quick to defend this Bill 9. Take a listen.
This is one of the most consequential actions our government will take during our time in office. We cannot and will not take the risk of a child undergoing medical, hormonal, or surgical interventions that could permanently limit or eliminate the choices they may want to make as an adult to have children of their own one day. Invoking it, we're keeping these decisions in the hands of those who are directly accountable to Albertans and ensuring these protections can move forward without further court delay or uncertainty.
You know, Sarah, I guess it's 40 years ago when the Charter came into effect with the notwithstanding clause. The feeling at the time was that it either would never be invoked by a government or virtually never. And if it were, there'd be a lot of heated reaction. What about today?
There is a lot of heated reaction. In fact, it was unclear exactly when Bill 9 was going to be tabled, and they thought it could have happened yesterday. So protesters actually gathered outside the legislature yesterday. They are very much opposed to what has happened here, whereas Danielle Smith argues that this is being done to protect vulnerable youth. Those who oppose this action say it's doing the exact opposite. And as well, I want to point out that medical experts do say that even the use of puberty blockers at a young age alone would not prevent long-term fertility issues. That is part of the argument for why that initial law is necessary, according to the current government. But beyond that, this is the use of the notwithstanding clause, as you say, is something that the opposition leader, Naheed Nenshi, he takes real issue with the fact that the government has gone and done this. And I want to play you what he had to say.
There are so many horrible things going on, and they are such bullies that they've decided that basic human rights don't matter if they think they can score some political points on vulnerable kids. Number 2 is because they're drunk on power. The Premier's ego will not allow her to think that, oh, perhaps she might be wrong about something.
And then, of course, and you mentioned this at the top, you don't even have to think back more than really a few weeks to find another example of the Alberta government specifically invoking the notwithstanding clause, and that had to do with ordering 51,000 teachers and school staff back to work. They imposed a contract. They applied the notwithstanding clause in order to prevent future legal challenges to that. And, you know, to your point about controversy, any move involving the notwithstanding clause is not without controversy.
Yeah, Sarah, thank you.